Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Drillstevejr Jr. review. Today we'll be taking a look at the 2020 rendition of the LEGO Star Wars AT80 Walker. And yes, I am going to call it an AT80, and if you have a problem with that, more power to you, man. But I'm going to call it an AT80, because personally it sounds, sounds dumb. To me personally. Anyway, so let's start with the minifigures of the AT-AT. We got Luke. And it's Pilot Luke, you know, he's got a thermal detonator, and it's a very nice print for a thermal detonator. He's got a lightsaber. He's got a lot of nice detail on the torso and legs. We got this part right here, which I think is like some ammo for like a pistol. Or something, and we got like this clip on his belt, which I think is for his lightsaber. Well, I think that's a clip. That might be like, I don't know, a communicator or something. We got the breathing part. We got a tube running down there. We got the white part on the torso, which isn't fully white, but it's better than what they did in 2014. I have the 2014 one that came in the Snowspeeder right here, and it was much more pinkish back then. Also, the face was pretty bad. As you can see, they added way too much detail on the 2014 Luke minifigures. But now I have myself an actually good-looking Pilot Luke. Focus. Good. And there is his alternate face, where he has, like, the visor up, and he's smirking, like, yeah, I'm agreeing with you, Dak. We're gonna take on the whole Empire ourselves. And then Dak dies. And then Luke gets shot down, but Luke survives, because that's just how Luke is. Anyway, so now let's talk about Mr. General Veers. Target maximum firepower. Target the main shield generator. Do you like my Veers impression? Anyway, so he's got a pretty nice color scheme, the gray with like this sand blue color, I think this is. I like the helmet a lot. I guess gravity doesn't really like it. Or maybe gravity would love it because it wants it to fall on the ground closer to where the source of gravity is. Anyway, we have ourselves a lovely, lovely helmet with printed goggles, and we got this little part right here. And we got some rivets and dents, and the strap goes all the way around the helmet. I really like this helmet mold. And we got a alternate face on the back for Veers, where he's got one eyebrow up, like, yeah, we destroyed the rebels today. Good work, men. He's got like a earpiece to like communicate with his troops on the ground, probably. Because holograms don't always work. He did have a hologram of Darth Vader with him, though. He was like, yes, Lord Vader, I found the main shield generator. And we got rank badges, and we got like these little dots right here on the armor. I don't know what those are for, but I do know that that's a rank badge right there. Right there. So yeah, very, very well made Veers minifigure. They could have added dual molded legs, maybe give him black boots, but I think he's perfectly fine the way he is. That black boots thing that I mentioned is more so just a thought. Next up, we have an AT80 Driver, and we have a very interesting color scheme. The gray with the, again, sand blue. TIE Fighter pilot, pretty much armor, just colored differently. Yeah, I think he looks pretty cool. I actually have the old one right here from 2009, so you can see the 10-year difference. I think this was actually 2010. The 10-year difference between the 2010 one and the 2021. So yeah, they went with white and gray here, but this, I believe, is more accurate. There was just a black head on the old troops, but now we got faces underneath them. And this was 2020, so we no longer had angry clones. And this face is the cocky asshole guy from the battle pack. Now for being a cocky asshole, he got demoted to driving something instead of being on the front lines. And we also got Lex Luthor here, who apparently decided to take up a career driving an AT80 instead of trying to destroy Superman. And as for the snowtroopers, here is a comparison with the version from the battle pack. Pretty much the same figure made. There's a few small changes that key-eye viewers will be able to notice. Like, oh, this guy's eyes are like 1 centimeter down further on the helmet mold. Or, oh, this is a slightly different shade of red between these two. But the general design and aesthetic is pretty much the same. So if you have the battle pack, you get 2 more figures to add to your snowtrooper army, which is always good. Underneath the helmet, we got this old-looking guy who kind of looks like Crosshair from the Bad Batch. Also kind of looks like Tarkin. And we also got this guy who is sort of like a generic head that has been used for a lot of different licensed characters. Like licensed extras and the extras and licensed themes. So we're gonna remove the pistols that they gave the AT80 drivers for some reason and the binoculars for Veers, because these guys are going into the cockpit. Spoilers. There is, in fact, an interior to this thing. We also got ourselves an E-Web Blaster, which I actually like the design of this quite a bit. It's pretty nicely detailed. Here is the Battle Pack version. As you can tell, they used this piece on that one and just a cone piece, and I actually prefer this sort of design. I think this one's a bit longer, but I like the sort of, like, shaping better here. There's also the stud shooter, but I'm mainly talking about the barrel, because stud shooter versus this is sort of, like, not really a fair comparison. Because one's made for play, and this one's just made for display, because you already get tons of playability with this thing. Anyway, so, yeah, so, where to start with the actual, like, walker? Let me try and adjust. I think I'm going to start with the legs on this guy. So, we've got a joint up here, a joint here, and a joint here. So, we can get the legs into quite a number of poses. Like, you can get them into a somewhat walking pose. Sort of like that. Kind of looks more like he's slipping on ice and he's gonna fall over or something, rather than like the standard like walking pose where it's like 2 legs in, 2 legs out on the sides, you know, that pose. So yeah, a lot of posability on the legs, and I think they're built pretty well. They look nice. Now raising the camera up, we're going to talk about the cockpit here, because there's a lot of things to talk about with the cockpit. Mainly, we got these cannons right here, which can rotate. These cannons do not go in and out like the actual one in the movie did, but to make up for that, they have come on. No, do not focus on the background. Focus on the stud shooters. So I'm going to insert a stud shooter in. I know, a bolt into. No, not a stud shooter. Spring-loaded shooter. I'm gonna get a bolt in there, and then I'm going to fire it off, And that just went across the room. We also got this ever so controversial, like, very small cockpit. I kind of think it works, but that's just me, or maybe I'm just being biased because I love this set. Spoiler alert. As for posability, you can get this much range plus a little bit extra with like this little spring in there, but then it just springs right back. It's like a little rubber piece to sort of like put it back in place. I think that's for stability, and you could take that out and have a bit more range, but I think it's perfectly fine with a pose like that, or a pose like that, or just straight on, you know. And there's the neck design, which some people may think the one from 2014 looks better. I personally think this one looks better. Besides, it's a darker gray, which is actually more accurate. Some people say this thing is less accurate than the 2014 one, and those people are biased liars, especially with the face. Like with the shaping here and like the more bulbous turrets and like these little shield things down here. I think there's like supposed to be 2 guns on this side or something, but the second one's like really small, so they couldn't really squeeze that in there. But it's still good. I like this. I like this a lot. Now, getting down, let's whoa. That was a little bit crazy. Let's go to the ass of the AT80, and we can admire all of its assy detail. And we can flip up this panel and that panel, and out comes a crappy speeder bike. Now, let me quickly compare this speeder bike design to the one that came in the battle pack. And as you can see, the battle pack one is it's a little bit it's shorter, which I think looks better because speeder bikes aren't really that big. Instead of sitting down, they're sort of like stand sitting, which is a little bit more accurate because you're riding a speeder bike, not just sitting down. There's a control stick on the one in the battle pack. This one doesn't have that. The megaphone is centered while the megaphone is offset, and there's a little gun there, which is more accurate. This one does not have the bags on the back, and this one does have the bags on the back and just more detail back there. And yeah, there is some similarities though, like the way this is shaped and the way these fins are built. Not the way they're attached. The way they're attached are a bit different, but the way the angle fin things are built are the same. So yeah. How you insert this back in is that there's a little bit of a thing there, and the megaphone is sort of act as a... The megaphone sort of slots into those grooves for you, which is why it's centered. Whoa! Whoa! I guess it got tripped up and fell over. It legit just fell over like it did in the movie. Oh. I'm not even upset. I find that impressive that the way it fell over is exactly like how it fell over in the movie. So let me close that up a bit more carefully and then shut this. And I guess we can start talking about the interior more. In here, we have ourselves space for our 3 minifigures that are required to pilot. 2 actual pilots and 1, like, manager, I guess. Manager. Like, moderator like making sure they're doing their jobs correctly, or like commanding them to do things, like one officer pretty much. And we got this come on. Come on. Come on, buddy. Don't mess with me. Let me try and fix this dude. Come on. Come on, work with me. Please? 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 There we go. I got them in there. And then general veers can also go in here as well. Like so, and we got the 3 musketeers in there. So then we can close them up, and we can now target maximum firepower. Pew! Pew! Anyway, so now we can get down to the main interior, which, this specific legs wants to keep giving out for some reason. Bad leg. Doing a review. Normally this thing doesn't really fight with me too much, but it's fighting with me now. Maybe because I'm recording. Anyway, so we got 3 seats there and 2 seats back there, plus like this weird clip sort of thing. So I don't really know what that's all about, but if you know what that is supposed to be, let me know. And there's space for the speeder to fit in. And you can put your troops in there, which I'm going to do. There's space for 5 troops, so if you have one of the battle packs, you will have enough. And as you saw in my battle pack review, I have 2 battle packs, so I have more than enough. I put his arm a bit down. So there we go. We got 2 bras about to go and may deploy, or may they're just on a coffee break right before they're about to deploy, or whatever. Use your imagination. It's Lego. You're supposed to do that. So now let me straighten up the legs because they were a bit funky. And I need 2 hands for this thing. So I keep having to drop the camera down. I'm sorry about that. I guess the only problem I have with this set is that the roof is just a bunch of studs instead of having more detail like the rest of the thing. But the last feature I need to talk about is the this winch right here. Now, if you know, Luke, my boy Luke, he cuts a hole into the AT80 and throws a detonator up there. Well, if we get down here, you may notice that there is a little, it's kind of hard to do since I clipped my nails, but you know, I can still do it, and there's a hole, and you can throw the detonator up in there, or try to close it on it, but it doesn't really work that much. But if you can get the detonator in there, then you can close it up. But Luke needs a winch to get up there, or a grapple line, which is where this little thing comes in. I guess you could also use it for like one of your troops to like grab onto and ascend down, sort of like are for Christmas style. That's such a good movie, by the way. But you can take Luke and attach him onto the this piece. Let me set down the camera again. Sorry about this. You can attach Luke on there and then raise him up. And then he can cut open the hole and throw a grenade in there. So yeah, very nice feature. Anyway, I think that's pretty much all I have to say on this set. So yeah, would I recommend this set? Yes, absolutely. It's a great set. Better than the 2014 one in my opinion. It's just more fun all around. It's more accurate. It looks better to me. And also, this set was released and coincide with the 50th anniversary of The Empire Strikes Back. So I think that really does work, since we get the two most famous scenes with an AT-80 recreated here. Sure, you don't get a snow speeder, but if you do have one, you can also do that scene where he wraps around the legs, because the snow speeder always has the string with them. But you get the cockpit with Veers and the two drivers, and we get Luke ascending upwards. So, yeah, I really like this set, and I would recommend it to anyone who's a fan of this vehicle, or The Empire Strikes Back, or Star Wars, or anything that would make you a fan of this vehicle. I recommend you get it, because it's just really good. Anyway, this is Drillstevejr Jr. signing off, and may the Force be with you. Bye.